Hello everyone, today gonna show you guys how to make a Hangman game. So this is gonna be the output. So it's just gonna be where we enter letters to try to guess words. And if we try to put in words of which we already took a guess at, you see right here we have an I, we try to guess it again. We get a message that we've already tried to guess that letter. And once we start getting them incorrectly, we're gonna have this guessed letters list that's going to be displaying. We can show what letters that were wrongly guessed, and we're going to have the word right here and hangman right there. So let's try to finish this. So it's going to be animal, and once we get this correct, we get a win. And let's get this incorrect. And when we get them incorrect, you're going to see that the guest is going to get filled up with the incorrect entries that we tried. The hangman drawing gets updated for every time we get one incorrect. And finally, at the end, we give an output that says the correct word was south, try again. And that's what we're going to be creating today in Java. Yeah, let's start. So for this game, what we're going to do is I'm doing it in Eclipse, and within a folder, I just have a text file that has just a bunch of words. So you could just make any text file, just fill it up with words that you want, or you could find words online, just fill it up. And from these words, I am going to be choosing for the game. So the very first thing that I want to do, very first thing that we want to do is get these words into a list. And once we have these words in a list, what we can do is then just choose a random word. So that's the very first step. So we're going to make an array list of type string. And let's call it word bank. Bank is equal to, okay. So now we're going to need a try catch to try to read this file that I have right here, and it's within my folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a try, and I'm going to catch any exception. Exception. And let's say if we can't read it, we could just print something else. We could print error reading file. Okay. However, if we can read it, what we're going to want to do is create a file object. Let's call it file. New file. And what are we reading? Well, we're reading from this folder that I have. I called it folder 1. It's going to be different for you guys if you guys have different ones, different naming conventions, but I have it as folder 1. So I'm going to do folder 1 / and I think I called it word bank dot text. Okay, so I have my file now. I have my file. So now what I do want to do is create my scanner object to read this file. And we're going to read the file that we just made. And we're going to iterate through this. We're going to do while sc has next line. So while there are words within this file, let's add them to the word bank. Word bank dot add, and we're gonna add the sc dot next line. So so now once we have this, let's just test it. Make sure everything's good. Let's just print out the word bank. Let me run this. And we have all these words in this array. Okay. Now, once we have that set up, what we're going to want to do is we are going to want to choose a word from all these words that we have. And the way we do this is going to make a string, and let's call it word. We're going to equal to our list word bank. And what are we going to get? We are going to get a random word. And the way we do this is we are going to use the math library. So we're going to do math.random. And we want to set the bounds to be word bank dot size. This is going to let us choose a random number within the bounds of this word bank. And once we do this right here, this is going to return a double. So what we do have to do is just cast it into an int. Now we have a word. So now let's print out what word did we get. So let's print out the word. And you can see right here that we got place. Run it one more time. So it just gets random words. So shelf. That's what we want to do. Okay. Next, we are going to make a hash set of characters. And let's call this letters is equal to new hash set. Okay. The reason why I made this hash set is because when we're actually playing, we're gonna want to see what letters are in the word, what letters are not in the word, and this is going to let us this is going to be useful for us to use if we want to see if the letter belongs in the word or if it doesn't. Okay. Next, what we're going to want to do is let's make a character array that's going to be, and let's call it letters of word. So these are going to be the letters that the word contains. It's going to be character, and it's going to be the size of the word. Word.length. Cool. And along with that, we're also going to have to create a character array that's going to be our answer. So same thing, and let's call it my answer equal to new character. And again, it's the same length. Word that way. Now, once we have that, the way I want to display it underneath in the terminal is I want to basically have it shown as underscores. So say our word is car. I want it to have 3 underscores underneath. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna loop through the letters of word and at the same time we're gonna take advantage and add the letters of the word to the letters hash set. Okay, so letters dot add, and we're gonna add the letters of word at that specific index. And you could take advantage and also fill up my answer with just empty underscores with underscores. Okay, so now let's just test. We're gonna let's print out the letters. Let's see that this works. Letters of word, because we have to make it into word dot character array. Okay, word dot character. Oh, to char array. To char array. Okay. Now let's run this one more time, and we can see that We have the letters. If we really want, we could print out the word as well to see what's the word. Yeah, so conscious, we have the letters again. When we're time discussion, we're gonna have the letters in this thing, which is what we want. Okay. So now we have this step set up, which is the foundation of the game that we're gonna need. So the next thing that we're gonna want to do is I'm gonna make a method that's basically gonna run the game. So it's gonna be a public static void, and let's call it run game. And what is this gonna take? Well, we need the word, the random word that we selected. We're gonna want the letters of the word. We're gonna want our answer, and we are gonna want the hash set that we could use to see if the letters that we're guessing are in the word. And this is just gonna be letters. Okay. Now we have this extra function. What we're gonna want to do is create our board. So it's gonna be a two-dimensional board and two-dimensional array, and it's gonna be new int, and it's gonna be, we are gonna make it 7 by 7. 7 by 7. New character. All right. Now once we have that, we're just gonna want to add. So on the way we're basically gonna make this board is we're gonna make it 7 by 7. So you can just imagine. Just imagine this 7 times. So it's gonna be 7 by 7 like this. And for this, I believe we're gonna make it something like this. Let's make it like that. And we're gonna have the top. We're just gonna have a whole bunch of lines, underscores. And the way is, the reason why we're doing this is to make it kind of look like a hangman. Hangman. And then at this, let's do it in the middle. Around here, we're gonna add like a random thing, and this is where the body's gonna go. So if we're doing 7 by 7, that means that index 1, 3, that means that row 1, column 3, we're gonna have the straight line of that. So it's gonna be this right here. Okay. Next thing that we're gonna want to do is we are going to, for this example, the way I'm gonna do it is I am going to make coordinates, because I don't want to I know we can make a function that already has the board, the hangman already drawn out for us, but for this example I'm just gonna be updating an existing board, and the way we do this is we are going to make a coordinates array. It's gonna be a 2D array, and the coordinates, it's gonna mark where the body is gonna go, the hangman. So it's gonna be on index 2, 3. We're going to make it on 3, 3. And we're gonna make it on 2, 2. And this will make more sense right now after 4. And finally, I believe a couple more. So 4, 2. All right, nice. The last one would be, I think, 4, 4. 4, 4. Okay, so these coordinates that we just made right now is basically gonna help us. Is gonna help us put, like, let's say the head, the legs, the arms, and so on. So for the coordinates, for example, at 2, 3, we're gonna want to put the, let's say the head, which would be a O, and so on. So the same way we made the coordinates, we're also gonna want to put the parts. So let's call this parts is equal to, and it's going to be character array. So at the first set of coordinates, we're going to want to put the head, and we just continue on. We're going to put the body, and after the body, it's going to be let's put the left arm, and after that, we could put the right arm, and then we put to escape the special character. Then after that, it's going to be the legs. Same thing. Okay. Now we have the coordinates. So for example, at 2, 3, we're going to put the circle. At 3, 3, we're going to put the body. We're going to put the left arm at 3, 2, and so on. Okay, so now let's just get rid of that. Okay. And just so we could kind of see what we're doing, what we're going to want to create is a function. It's going to print the board. It's going to be public static void, and it's going to, let's call it display game. And what is this going to take? Our character board. And it's also going to take, might as well, we're going to print out our answer as well. So jar, so this is my answer. Okay, so now if you want to print for right there. So for let's call this J. System out dot print, and we're gonna print our board I J system. Okay, and we're just gonna want to add another line underneath just for so it could look nice. Okay, and let's add some space to the front before we print our letters for our board. And we can just character C through our my answer. This is an enhanced for loop. You could just same thing as for loop, a bit different the way you type it. We're gonna type, we're gonna print the C. We're gonna print the C and then just add another little space in between. Okay. So this should be able to print this function that we just made, display game. It's gonna be able to print our board and our answer. All right. So now the next thing, let's go back to our run game function. Okay, and our run game function, next thing we're gonna want to add to our board, we're gonna want to add the stand of the display game thing. So let's do that. So for I is equal to 0, I is less than our board 0 line. This is just we're looping through we're gonna put the top part and we get this. This is basically just the length of our columns. All right, now we're gonna do board of 0. So that means at row 0, column I, we're just gonna put the underscores. Okay. And same thing, we're gonna want to put on the side. This would be board. It's gonna start off at 1 because already index 0, 0 would be this. So let's start it off at 1 underneath. And this will be through the rows. So it would be board outline. And we are gonna put on I 0, we are going to put these straight lines. Okay. So let's just display what we have so far. Display game. We're gonna send our board, and we're gonna send my answer to the function. My answer. There we go. Okay, and in this function, let's just call run game to see what we have so far. So we're gonna send our word. We're gonna send the letters of word. I'm gonna send in my answer, and we're gonna send in the hash that we made. So let's just see what we have so far. Okay. Okay, so we have what the hangman thing. We have that, but this is coming out incorrect. So just gonna scroll down right here. And it is because it shouldn't be print line, but print. Ah, there we go. There we go. Okay. So we have where we're gonna display the hangman, and this is our letters where we're gonna guess. So this is my answer, and this is where we're gonna be updating this as we go on. So we have all this set up now. Okay, so now what we're gonna create is an array list, because I'm gonna want to display the I'm gonna want to keep track of the letters that I guessed, but I'm also gonna want to keep track of the letters that were wrongly guessed. So let's create an array list for those, and it's gonna be of type character. Uh, Character. I'm gonna call this. Let's call it guest. List. Okay. Just copy this, and let's make a wrongly guessed, the ones that we incorrectly guessed. Okay. Now for this game, we're gonna want to take in the input of the user. So let's call it sc equal to new scanner and system dot in. We're gonna take the user's input. Okay. So now for the game of Hangman, we're gonna have 6 lives. So it's for the head, for the 2 left arms, for the body, and for the 2 legs. So that's 6 lives. So we're gonna make our lives be 6. We're gonna start off with 6 lives. And we're also gonna wanna see how many letters we have correct. So that's gonna start off at 0. And when we get 1 incorrectly, we're gonna wanna update the board by inserting these parts right here along with the coordinates. So if we start off, we're gonna want to start off at index 0. So we're gonna make this variable called idx, and let's set it to 0. Set it to 0. Okay. So now the condition for our game. So our condition is gonna be while our lives are greater than 0 and the number of correct is less than word dot length. So let's say if we have the word car, we're gonna want our 6 lives to be greater than 0. And we're also gonna want the number of correct to be less than the word. Once either of these conditions are broken, then the game is finished. So whether that be that we didn't get the word correctly because we ran out of lives, or if we got the whole word correctly, so where the correct letters would be the same as the word dot length. So that's a condition for our game. Okay, so for this, we're gonna wanna just use this function that we made. So we're gonna wanna display the game initially. So once we start off, it's gonna display what we made, which is this right here. So we're gonna display this, and we could just add some text, we can do system and you can make a new line, and we're gonna want to show our user the guessed letters. So I guess wrongly guessed once. Wrongly guessed. And we're gonna want to print out the lives. And then let's do the lives that we have. Lives. And we're also going to want to do the number of correct ones that we have as well. It's going to be okay. And next, let's have the user enter a letter. So let's do enter letter space. Okay. Now once we have that, we're going to take the user's input. So it's going to be character, a letter that the user put in. So it's going to be, we're going to use the scanner that we made up here. So it's sc dot, let's do next. And since it is a character, so you can just do character at 0. This is gonna take, so if we just enter, if the user enters a, it's gonna just get it right there because we only need one letter per entry. Okay. So now once we have the letter, we're gonna want to check if it has been guessed. So if it has been guessed, we don't do nothing. We're just tell the letter, oh, hey, you already guessed this letter, try guessing another one or something along those lines. So we're gonna do it, if guess dot contains the letter, what we could do is, let's print out something to the user system. And let's print something like the letter. Let's print it out so they could see. Letter has been guessed already. Choose another letter. Let's type something like that. Okay, and we could just continue. Since we're in a while loop, just continue. We'll skip then whatever's following that. Else if the letters dot contains what we made earlier up here, the hash set. So if the letters contain the letter that we have, we're gonna do something. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna want to loop through it. We're gonna want to update this right here. Update this. So let's say if the word is car, we're gonna want to, if they guess a, we're gonna want to update this to wherever the a is. The way we do this is we're gonna want to loop through the word. Is less than, let's do letters, word, which was the character, right, that we made. Length. Okay, and if letters of word at index I is equal to our letter, then that means we got one correct. So we could increment correct. And we could also update our answer. My answer of I is going to be letter. So again, let's say if the word is car and the user inputs A, since we're just gonna want to see where A is positioned at, and we're gonna, wherever it's positioned at is where we're gonna insert the letter to our answer right here. Okay. So else if otherwise, else that means if the letter that the user guessed, if it's not in the word, which we're checking right here, then we know that we got one wrong. So we're gonna do lives minus minus. Same time, If we got one incorrect, we're gonna want to put we're gonna start drawing the hangman. And the way we did this is we made the coordinates and the parts. So we're just gonna, and we have the index that starts off at 0. So we're just gonna want to update the board. The way we do this is we're gonna do the board of coordinates of index. So if it's 0, and since these are XY coordinates up here, so we know the X is going to be at index 0 and the Y is going to be index 1. So we could just do that right here. So on this coordinate, and we're going to want to do the same for the Y coordinate. So we're going to do coordinates of IDX of 1 is going to be equal to our parts of IDX. Okay, and now we're gonna wanna increment our IDX plus, and we're also gonna wanna add to our wrongly guessed dot add. We're gonna wanna add the letter, and we're gonna wanna add to the wrongly guessed. At the same time, so if a letter that we guessed, if the guess contains the letter, we just continue. Otherwise, we know that we took a guess. So we're gonna want to add that to our guessed. Just not add letter array. Okay, so let me just explain this. So we have a board which is 7 by 7. And if we get a letter wrong, let's say we have the word car and we guess the letter F, that means it's incorrect. So we're gonna want to add a part to our board. And the way we do this is, so up here we made the coordinates. So for example, on this set of coordinates, we're gonna put the head. The next set of coordinates, we're gonna put the body, and so on. So once we start off, the first thing, since we have our index at 0, that means at index 0 of coordinates, we're gonna get the coordinates, and the same thing at index 0 of parts, we're gonna get the head. So we're gonna be able to update our board by doing this. So we're gonna get the coordinates of index, which is 0, starts off at 0. So that means at coordinates of 0, 0, which is the 2, and coordinates of 0, 1, which is the 3. So that means at 2, 3 on our board, on row 2, column 3 on our board, we're going to want to put the parts at index 0. And our parts at index 0 is the head. So we're going to do that. And we're going to put that on our board, and we're going to increment our index. So our index for the next turn around, we're going to get this set of coordinates with this, and so on. And we're going to add the wrongly guessed. Okay, so now let's just see what we have. Make sure we don't have any bugs. Okay, so we have this right here. Let's guess a letter, A. So you see how we got that correct? We got that incorrect. So hence we put the head right there. You'd see, and right here at the bottom we have the guess ones that are wrong. So let's try to guess a right one. E, B. We're not gonna get any. Okay, but here, let's try again. Okay, there we go. Okay, so so you could see for every time that we get one incorrect, our lives decrement. So it was 4. We guessed I wasn't there, so it gets input into our guessed list right here that displays, and our lives decrement, and you can see right here it was just the head and the body, and we added an arm because I wasn't in there. And finally, when we do get one correct, our correct from 0 increases to 1, and our answer, right here gets updated. So we guess the O and it gets in place. And let's say we try to guess a O again, since we added it to our guessed array, it's gonna help us catch that. So O has already been guessed. O has been guessed already. Choose another letter, and that's the same vice versa goes for the E. If we try to put an E, it's gonna say E has been guessed already. Choose another letter, which is what we want. And finally, what we could add at the end is just we want to display. We just want to display the game again at the end, whether that's that we got the word correctly or we got it incorrectly. So we're gonna do if the correct number, if our correct is equal to our word dot length, then that means we got the word correct. So we could just do system print at length. Let's just say you won. Okay. Otherwise, they got it in. They did not guess the word, so just do system out.println and let's make a new line. Let's say the correct word was, and put the word, then just add system, just add try again. And that should be it for our Hangman game. So let's just try running it just to make sure it works correctly. Okay, so we have the board right here, and then we also print out our answer. So my answer is currently we have no guesses, so the guess is empty. We have 6 lives and we have 0 correct. So let's enter a letter. So we're gonna enter A. That one is correct. So let's add an E. So that one is also correct. Let's add an I. That one is incorrect. So yes, so now the head gets placed on. F. D, and you can see if we try to guess the D again, it says D has been guessed already. Choose another letter and the board stays intact. Nothing gets added to it. Try F. We already guessed F. Like you. Oh, it was strange. So you see we got it incorrect. So the correct word was strange. Try again. You can see that the whole hangman is thing. And if we want to play again, we could just run it over again. I'm just trying to get it. I can get it. It was safe. But yeah, it's gonna work regardless if we get it correct or incorrect. I was just trying to get an example what I could do here if really wanted. Just to show is print. So just gonna this is an example just to show that what happens once we get the correct word. So silk, let's say. So we enter SILK, and so we print the board and we say silk, you won. And that's pretty much it for the Hangman game. Let me know if you guys have any questions about it. But yeah, that's it.